Hello and welcome to Long Beach Lens. I'm your host, Derek J. Simpson, Executive Director of the Long Beach Community Action Partnership. Today our guest is the founder of Global Fashion Mission. Please join me in welcoming Malyneath Vong. How are you?
Good. So good to see you again.
Yes. Thanks for coming back. I know a lot has transpired. You were kind enough to be a guest on Long Beach Lens and maybe a year or more ago and shared the story. And for those who don't know the original story, and then we're going to move into some new things that are going on that are very important in the community and in business. Your family escaped the killing fields.
Yes, we did.
Tell us that story and how you actually came to be here in Long Beach.
Gosh, my family, my mother and my older brother and my uncle, myself, we managed to escape the killing fields. We arrived in Maryland, back in the East Coast, and we were actually sponsored by a number of families from a Presbyterian church. And thankfully, when it comes to a single mom with children, there's more than one family that can come together and support and sponsor us to bring us over. So when that happened, my mom showed up, and she had to learn the language. Number one, the culture. It was an extremely culture shock for her to come from a tropical location like Cambodia
To
Maryland, where she had to weather the storm, and as a single mom, learn how to take the bus, walk in the snow, and it was just really hard for her and traumatic because she lost her parents, she lost her husband, she lost so much, and my sister, who I didn't come to meet, but she died in my mom's arms due to starvation.
Wow. So you go through that as a family, and then you're a little one, and you eventually move to Long Beach. Tell us how you made that transition and then began to realize that maybe being an entrepreneur and independent as you are was something that was a possibility for you.
I must say, just the upbringing in the church and the strong foundation, being a part of a Cambodian church, hearing about what goes on in our country, the aftermath of the genocide, and what we can possibly do here, given the opportunities to still make a difference back there. And so my first opportunity was to go back to Cambodia back in 2005. And I didn't want to go empty-handed, so I raised enough money within my network of professionals and friends and family. We were able to, in a short period of time, raise over $2,000. And we headed back to Cambodia with my mom for the very first time to distribute and help out about over 400 kids, with school uniforms, toothpaste, the necessities that we take for granted. And it was just heartfelt to see all that happen, where we talk about traveling from, the capital where I stayed to the provinces throughout Cambodia. We're talking about going on unpaved roads for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, just to get there and see the children there just, patiently wait for you, just to receive, the gifts that we were able to bring for them.
Right, that had to be, so like you said, a necessity for the children, but such a sense of warmth and passion for you guys to be able to do that as well.
Yes. It was just, I think I was just more excited than anything. But when we got to our third location, where there's over 200 kids there, and the pastor had interviewed me and asked me, he's like, okay, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about everything? And that's when I got choked up and emotional. That's when it really sank in, and you really think about what you can do, where a dollar goes a long way over there, as opposed to what we think about spending it here. And so I made it my mission to make sure I can do something about providing jobs, giving back to the motherland, and also giving back here in America, and because of the opportunities that we have here.
And that's where I guess Global Fashion Mission comes in.
That's where Global Fashion Mission comes in.
So tell us about that.
My following trip from 2005, we went back in 2012, and that's when I had more time to spend there. I walked into this bazaar, and then saw these upcycled purses, different bags, and there's this little girl there. I was asking her what is it made of, and she was actually trying to sell me the whole collection. I actually bought it because my train of thought was like, wow, this would be great in the States. It's upcycled. We're all about being green here. And I made a mission to make sure that I can go ahead and expand it here in the U.S.
And as you're talking, we're showing a few slides there on the monitor that kind of share this story. And how does that work? Because I know you talk about human trafficking and the impact there. So what's that connection as well?
The connection is, you know, when it comes to human trafficking, it encompasses so much. You know, we think that women are sold, or they just have a choice to wake up in the morning and want to work at these bars where they meet men and get paid for, you know, what they want what they want the women to do. But it's nothing like that. It could be as simple as, you know, being so subtle as maybe somebody just befriending a child because, you know, unfortunately, people want to do so many things with children, and or even with the adults. You know, it's so subtle and they're so brainwashed where they just don't even know that they're a victim.
Gotcha.
That's the thing. And then even when it comes to human trafficking, it also encompasses labor trafficking, where they're so poor. You know, they have to unfortunately hold their children back from going to school and go to work and, you know, be exploited so many different ways. So with Global Fashion Mission, our mission is to, you know, our initiative was to, okay, let's work with the community families that are already making these bags, right? Let's offer them stability. They can work from home, so when the kids get off from school, mom or dad are home so that they won't be sexually exploited. And number two, you know, we pay a fair wage. We don't exploit the people that we work with, obviously. And given that, as an example, when they go out to manufacturing companies, they actually get paid about $150 a month, you know, and they're far away from their kids and their families. This offers them the ability to stay home. Not only just, they make more than $150 a month, they actually have discretionary income, which is like, they don't even know what that is, you know, until they start working with us.
New concept.
Yes, absolutely new concept, and they're able to buy things for their children.
Now I want to show, as you're talking, I'm just going to hold this up and you can continue to talk, but this, which amazed me the first time you came on, though this is a purse, this was actually a cement bag, is that correct?
That's correct.
So tell us that story. How does it go from being a cement bag to come to be a purse in this concept?
You know, for this particular style, the patchwork that's done by the families, we actually now have expanded to purchase fish feed bags, you know, rice bags from other countries, from like Vietnam, Thailand, and Cambodia. So as you can see, the background with the different colors and different words, they are different things in different languages. And the elephant is what we've actually incorporated from the used cement bag.
Okay, and then you mentioned fish. And,
yes.
And then there's this bag.
That's the koi fish bag from Vietnam, and we purchased it from farmers after, you know, they feed their fishes, and it's a nice elaborate design. So I'm like, let's use it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have a larger bag here with an elephant, and I'll hold that one. Same concept, just a different style of a bag.
Yes. And this incredible bag, we lined it with the used cement bag. So if you look inside, we actually use the used cement bag inside. That way it reinforces the bag and the handle to carry much more. This
Portland cement is what it says, yeah. Right there.
It actually can carry like up to 50 pounds.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Right. Let's hope we don't have to carry around 50 pounds in a purse.
Yeah, let's hope not.
But to your point though, now basically what you're doing is encouraging the entrepreneurial spirit, which is something maybe that's not such a common theme for certain people. But like you said, they're able to generate as much or more than they would going off away to work, and then being able to create a product that can be brought here to make a profound impact. It's like the circle of life is complete there, right?
Absolutely, and how I mentioned earlier how we wanted to make an impact here, and what we do is we give back towards human trafficking prevention. We know
Right.
that's a big deal. People don't realize how big it is here. They feel that it's just a third world country problem, but it's not. It happens here to our children, to our women, and to even the men and the boys here. So we connected with Project Missionary Position, and they focus on prevention within Los Angeles.
Now, I was remiss in not bringing up one more item
Oh.
because this is a piece of jewelry here. And how does this connect? I mean, we see cement bags here, but where does something like this come into play?
That's an amazing product there with so much history. Back when President Nixon was in office, he did run a covert operation that many people didn't know about to reach out to get to the Viet Congs. He bombed Cambodia. And unfortunately, the casualties were not the Viet Congs. It was more so villagers within Cambodia, anywhere between 50 to 100,000 people.
Wow.
So since then, we've had a lot of organizations that actually dig up a lot of the bomb casings, a lot of landmines, and even bullet shells. And what they've been doing is they've been creating beautiful pieces of jewelry like the one you're holding onto right now. And so it's just like a healing process, you know, Derek, where it's like,
So to be clear, at one point, this was either a bomb or a bullet intended to end life.
right.
And you reversed the script on this and turned it into a beautiful piece of art that's helping to give life to those who are creating these art projects.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful concept. Yeah, I mean, you don't know until you know. And you're not only creating product through all of this, but you're also telling a story in history and helping to educate people. And I think that's very important too. You've got so many stories to tell, and we're almost at a point where we need to take a break. So why don't we take a break? And when we come back, we're going to talk about another major initiative that you have going on. So again, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will continue our conversation with Malyneath Vong. Stay tuned for more of Long Beach Lens. Welcome back. I'm Derek J. Simpson, and we are here with the founder of Global Fashion Mission, Malyneath Vong. You've been giving such insightful information about your company and why it's so important. It's not just about a company trying to make dollars, it's about a cause that's helping families in another country become self-sustainable and safe in terms of protecting the moms and the kids there, but also providing an amazing creative product here. And just some closing thoughts then on the company, because you said not only is it having that impact, it's also having an environmental impact as well.
Yes, since we started GFM, we've actually prevented over 3,000 pounds of industrial plastic bags from going to landfills.
Wow.
So that has just been amazing. We kind of did it without even knowing what we're doing and realizing the huge impact from the families that we're making, and also environmentally. So we're so happy about that. And the families, as a matter of fact, since they've been doing it, have actually rerouted over 10,000 pounds.
Wow.
just working within the past number of years before having to work with me.
So it's sort of, I would imagine in some ways, educated the families there in terms of being environmentally conscious and how they can recycle things as well. So that's an amazing impact that you didn't expect, I would imagine. At first,
No,
right?
I did not expect it,
Right. Cool, very cool. So now this wasn't enough for you. You're not busy enough. You go and get involved in some other things, one of which is Fair Trade Long Beach. So for those of us who are clueless about what that might be, can you share that story?
Absolutely. Fair Trade Long Beach, my involvement with Fair Trade Long Beach started early on this year, and I was fortunate to meet with a great team, and I've been serving as an executive director with them since, I believe, like early this year, around February, March. And what Fair Trade Long Beach, what we stand for is what it sounds like. It's fair trade, making sure from the coffee you drink to the sugar you use in your tea, or even clothes that you wear, are fair trade, meaning the people who are making it, the farmers that are picking the bananas, the farmers that are picking the coffee beans, are getting paid a fair wage comparable to their country.
Now, how do we go about that? Because I read that you say 14,000 communities and thousands of schools and congregations on 6 continents have joined together to alleviate poverty through fair trade. How does that occur?
How does that occur? That's such a good question. We have anywhere between, we have so many companies and communities that have already come together to make sure that within their organization or their city, for example, like here, UCLA is a fair trade school, university.
Okay.
And how do you go about doing that? Making sure that the products that are being sold within their school, like their bookstore even, are carrying fair trade products, or even the coffee that they're serving is actually fair trade. So that's
so is there a
initiative.
logo or something on there? If I'm a
Yes.
consumer, that I look for something that says fair trade, or?
There is a fair trade logo.
Okay.
I believe we offer about 3 or 4 to go ahead and you can view that. There's like one with a hand kind of holding on to, like,
Gotcha.
showing it's fair trade. And you can actually see when you buy products, it'll show fair trade certified.
Okay. And that's something that's not just a Long Beach initiative. This is a global initiative
This is
that
a
Long Beach
global
just happens to be a part of.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we love our community to actually come and join us, come on board and find out how you can become a fair trade store, how you can become a fair trade organization. It's a very simple process.
Such as? If someone's looking right now and says, wow, that's intriguing because, we want to be involved in the community in a bigger way, how would they do that? What's the step?
If you're a retailer, if you just carry the minimum of 2 fair trade products that have the certification on it, we can classify you as a fair trade store. And as a campaign, we're creating a fair trade directory where you will be added onto the directory for free. And everybody who is conscious about fair trade, they'll look on our website, which is fairtradelongbeach.com, and look at all the fair trade stores and retailers and organizations in Long Beach.
Right. That's interesting because I happen to be in Trader Joe's with my friend, and she's gluten intolerant. She can't have anything with gluten. And I was trying to find the little gluten logo, and then all of a sudden the guy walked up and he's like, "Oh, come to the computer," and they just printed out a whole list of everything that's gluten-free in that store. So I would imagine things like that would be helpful, the directory, or whether it be a directory of locations that are fair trade, or a directory of certain types of products.
Right.
Because we are a nonprofit, we buy coffee, we buy all sorts of things. So is there a directory for that as well, to know where we can get the products?
Absolutely, there is. We have it available at fairtradelongbeach.com.
Okay.
And if you want to get involved, there's a way to contact us and how to go about finding fair trade products, like which stores in Long Beach, or even when you're traveling, can you find a fair trade product?
Okay. Now you talk about normalizing fair trade as an institutional policy. What's involved in that based on what you've been telling me?
What's involved in that is, in addition to our community as a population saying, yes, we want to buy fair trade products, it also encompasses having city council, saying, yes, we want to be a fair trade town, we want to be a fair trade city, so let's go ahead and put this together and create a resolution that, we are now a bona fide fair trade town due to having 47, in particular here in Long Beach, 47 retailers that offer fair trade products and 47 organizations that are actually educating and offering fair trade products as well.
So, for instance, again, I go back to Long Beach Community Action Partnership. How would we get on that list? Just by officially saying, okay, we're going to buy at least 2 or more products, and that makes us eligible, or is there a lot more to it, or what?
What you've mentioned earlier about buying coffee or tea, right? As long as you're serving a fair trade coffee or fair trade tea, and you put a little sign next to it that this is fair trade, so that they know that the people that pick the coffee beans or even produce the tea are getting paid a fair wage.
Right. And this is important to me personally, but as the executive director, because our mission is to help families that are in poverty achieve self-sustainability. So though our unique service area may be Long Beach and the greater Long Beach area for other services that we provide, clearly that mission is universal in terms of helping someone anywhere with the cause of poverty. So it's interesting that you can educate us on this, because certainly we want to be a part of this, and I can go back to the 1,100 of my colleagues across the nation and say, hey, are we fair trade, and make this a national cause. So can others do the same and be champions of this to help get the word out?
Absolutely, they can do that. They can also, just like I said, go to our website and just there's so much information, a plethora of resources that can guide them. If you're a fair trade organization, if you're a fair trade, if you're just like a nonprofit organization, right? How do you become like yourself? Besides selling, besides offering coffee or tea, what else can you do? You can help educate the community within your own community about what fair trade is. And what I also want to add to that, which is really important, is there's a fair trade premium within the fair trade organization, where these farmers or they're picking the coffee or even the fruits, they get funds put in a trust account, and they get to decide whether that's going to be used for health care, build a school, have a daycare, or even at one country they had a football field, which made a huge impact with their community. So there's so much you can look into as far as the impact of the purchasing that you can make here, making the global impact of eradicating poverty.
Wow. And when you consider how much we as a nation consume and spend, I would imagine our impact getting behind something like this could have profound differences around the world, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you mentioned getting something by council, city council, like a proclamation or something such as that. Has that occurred, or is that something in progress to say that we're an official fair trade city?
That is, as of right now, we are working on it. We're developing relationships within council member and council women within Long Beach. And I don't see it being a challenge in any way, given where we live in Long Beach. We're so supportive of being fair across the board, and I've seen so much as far as what Long Beach fights for the people here to make sure, as far as housing and everything else goes across the board. So that's in progress.
Good, good. Well, let us know as a community how we can get behind something like this. It's important not only to our community, but globally having an impact. I want to talk about the Kiva microfinancing loan program. We did have someone from the city here talking about that program.
Perfect.
From John Keitzler's office, but you're on the other side of that. So tell us how that's going to possibly impact what you're doing with Global Fashion Mission and otherwise.
You know, thankfully, I attended the small business development here in Long Beach, and they presented like, we should consider Kiva. And they talked a bit about it, and they said the city of Long Beach is really trying to promote it. And for entrepreneurs like yourself, they're making an impact. You know, you can take a loan up to $10,000 and it's 0% interest, and the repayment plan is pretty doable.
And that's for any business that
For
approaches
any
them
business.
in Long Beach. That's
Yes.
an amazing program.
It is an amazing program because you know, Kiva loans are actually more international. They're based in San Francisco, but for the city of Long Beach to promote something like this is incredible. So obviously I met, you need a trustee, and then Brett from the Small Business Development office, he referred me to Dr. Wade Martin, and then he's checked out our website and says, you are the type of company we want to go ahead and be a trustee for. So we met briefly last week, and so we're trying to get the process going. So what we've been trying to raise is we need $10,000. And so we're responsible for raising half of that, and then the city of Long Beach is going to match the $5,000 to reach our $10,000 goal.
And then those dollars will be used to create more product, or what?
Those dollars, after assessing, our business, we really want to focus on spread. How can we spread it besides just going to, from one show to another? We want to really invest in promoting ourselves with our e-commerce store, so you can reach not just Long Beach or California, but everybody around the world, and that can really make an impact.
And helping families, addressing human trafficking, a mission with a cause.
Yes.
You do great work, and thank you for all that you're doing. We're out of time,
Okay.
but you've got so much to offer, and I hope people follow up with you. I'd like to thank Malyneath Vong for joining us on today's show. Be sure to follow PadNet TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest updates. We also welcome your comments and thoughts regarding this show as we strive to make Long Beach Lens a favorite source of local news, information, and entertainment. This show has been brought to you with support from the Long Beach Community Action Partnership. Thank you for watching Long Beach Lens.